We're following multiple breaking stories here at noon. Police sharing new details on the deadly shooting outside of the Pleasant Hill Price Chopper.
But first, an update on 3 people under close observation at the University of Kansas Hospital after hantavirus exposure. Now, just 2 weeks ago, we told you about the 3 people who may have contracted the hantavirus while traveling abroad.
Now, KCTV5 Samantha Boring has followed this since the beginning. She joins us live in the newsroom with a new update. Samantha, what did you learn?
Bill, Sharon, just in the last 2 hours, we learned that 3 people have been discharged from the University of Kansas health system in KCK. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment says the 3 people were discharged on Thursday, May 21st from the hospital. They have been there since Wednesday, May 13th, but they're still under daily monitoring during the 42-day observation period. That will end on Sunday, June 7th. Now, this all started when the 3 people were exposed to someone on an international flight. It was later confirmed that the person had Andes hantavirus. They had been on the cruise ship and left before the outbreak. Now, it's important to note here that the KDHE says that there are no confirmed cases of hantavirus in Kansas, and the risk to the public still remains extremely low. Live in the newsroom, Samantha Boring, KCTV5 News.
All right, Samantha, thank you for that update. Also